Hello children, how are you? I hope you all are fine, healthy. Thank you. Be very safe. So, I am back again with our next chapter, that is longitudes and latitudes. Do you know that we have some imaginary lines made on our globe? Yes. Do you know how does our GPS work? We have GPS in our school vans and Google Map. How do they work? Yes, they work with the numbers of longitude and latitude. Some imaginary lines which we have made on our planet, they are not in real, but they are for our convenience. They help us to locate the proper place on our globe or maps. So we will study about this chapter. Nowadays it has become very convenient to find a place. We just put the name of that place in our Google map and we get the place on the map itself, or where to turn, where to go, how much distance is left, and it is so convenient to check that is there a traffic jam or not. So this is all because of those numbers which are stored in our mapping system in our phones. Now, we will have this chapter, we will study this chapter, and we have contains imaginary lines. So imaginary lines, the vertical lines are longitudes and the horizontal lines are latitudes. There are some special lines which we are going to study in this chapter. Then we have some special latitudes also and some special longitudes also, which are very important. And the last one is grid. Grid is a network of longitudes and latitudes which enables us to find out the proper location of the place on the map or the globe. We can find the accurate place with the help of grid. So children, let's begin our lesson, latitudes and longitudes. The content of this chapter main contents are imaginary lines, latitude, special latitudes, longitudes, features of longitudes, they are also called meridians, and grid. So imaginary lines. These lines, as I have already told you, they are not real. You can see the map clearly. There are some lines made on it. These are the imaginary lines. Imaginary lines are a number of horizontal and vertical lines all over the globe. You can have a look at the globe also. You will be able to see many lines. Can you see these lines? Can you see these lines? Horizontal lines. This is the main line. This is the equator at 0 degree. Okay. And then we also have longitudes. Can you see these lines? These vertical lines? They are longitudes. So this is the North Pole and this is the South Pole. And they run from north to south. Those are longitudes. And the lines which run from east to west are called latitudes. Let's come back. The imaginary lines that run from north to south are called longitudes. These lines that run from east to west are called latitudes. Then we have the facts about the latitudes. Latitudes, they all are parallel to each other. Can you see that equator is marked at 0, then it is 10, 20 degree, 30 degree, 40 degree. It goes in ascending order till North Pole. Like this. In the similar way, it goes in ascending order at the South Pole also, but you have to write 20 degree north, 30 degree north, 40 degree north. In this way, you have to write when you are going towards south, you have to write 10 degrees south, 20 degrees south, 30 degrees south. These lines run from east to west direction. Measure distance north to south from equator, then are parallel to one another and never meet. These lines are parallel to each other. They are also known as the parallel of latitudes. Cross the prime meridian at right angles. Obviously, they have the vertical lines which come down from north to south, and these latitudes cut them at right angle triangles. Right angle. So children, do you know about the Earth's axis? It's also an imaginary line which goes like this with the tilt. We can see it on the globe also, that there is a tilt from this to this place. So this is Earth's axis which has a tilt, and the next point lies in a place that cross the Earth's axis at right angle. So it has these lines cut the axis also at the right angle. Get shorter towards the poles with only the equator the longest great circle. You can see that this is the diameter of the Earth, and it is the longest chord. As these lines reaches towards the poles, they get shorter. Am I clear? So now next we have some special latitudes. You can see these latitudes. They are marked equator at 0 degree. Then it is 23.5. Specific it is given over here. But as I have drawn also, this is a board and I have drawn all the special latitudes on this board. North Pole, South Pole, then we have equator. Then at 23.5 degree north, we have Tropic of Cancer. Then Arctic Circle at 66.5 degree north. Then Tropic of Capricorn at 23.5 degrees south, and Antarctic Circle at 66.5 degrees and in south. These are some special latitudes which we have marked. Equator is a special latitude which divides the Earth into two equal halves that are known as Northern Hemisphere and Southern Hemisphere. Now we will study about the longitudes. They are also called meridians. These are the longitudes. These lines run from north to south pole. Can you see? And they have the major distance between them at equator. As they run towards the pole, they have the minimum distance between each other. Facts about lines of longitudes are known as meridian. They all are known as meridians. They run in north-south direction, measure distance east or west of prime meridian, are the farthest apart at equator and meet at the pole. So they are not parallel to each other. Cross the equator again at right angles. We have already known this, like we know this point earlier also. Lie in planes that pass through the Earth's axis, of course, and are equal in length. All the meridians are equal in length, but our latitudes are not equal in length. Are halves of great circle, and there are 360 meridians on our globe. As longitudes and latitudes run from east to west and north to south, they form the network called grid. So this is the grid system. Grid help us to accurately locate places on maps and globes. If we know the latitude and the longitude of a place, we can find its exact position on the map or the globe. So grid is a network of lines which forms when latitudes and longitudes cross each other. Once again, we can have a recap about the latitudes and longitudes on a globe. So all these lines which are going from north to south are longitudes. The lines which are horizontal on the globe are called latitudes. Latitudes, the main features of latitude are they are parallel to each other. And the longitudes, that they had the major difference at the equator, and they go and meet each other at the poles because they are not parallel to each other. Can you see the special names of the latitudes? Yes, they are equator at 0 degree, Tropic of Cancer at 23 degrees and a half north, and 23 degrees half at south is Tropic of Capricorn. Then 66 degrees half north is Arctic Circle, and 66 degrees half south is Antarctic Circle. Then we have 90 degrees north is North Pole, and 90 degrees south is South Pole. We have prime meridian, which is the main longitude at the 0 degree. Equators. Children, one fact which I want to tell you about prime meridian is that in 1884, an international conference decided that the prime meridian passes through the Royal Observatory, Greenwich in southeast London. I hope it was an interesting session and you liked it. Thank you so much, children.